All right, Kenman here, and today we are getting down to business. Round 3, Shipwreck dive. Let's go. My first attempt, I started to work on this Civivi and this pen, and the pen was not too bad. The Civivi I did not leave in long enough, so then for round 2, we did it again, and here is our results. Quite happy with it, really fun. The pen we put in that second time as well turned out a little bit better, although what I didn't realize the way this pen works, or I just wasn't paying attention, is it's got this slide action here, and you can see this slide piece is made out of brass, that's made out of brass, and I didn't do those, partially because I wasn't sure if it was going to slide or not, but it just doesn't look right, so I need to do those two pieces. So we're going to take that piece right there, get this other junk out of my world, and this piece right here, and we're going to go ahead and do those up to kind of match this. I did have a little piece, you can see that blue inside there. It still slides around. I'll sand down anything and any surfaces that move if there is an issue, but we're going to go ahead and put this aside, but we'll use these two pieces, clean them up, and then try to get them to kind of match up with it. The old Civivi, excellent success on that second try, really happy with it. This was the first one I got. This is on loan from Lanyard Man, this Vero Synapse, but this was the first Shipwreck that I actually held in my hand, and seeing it, it basically sold me on it. And now I'm excited on this project, and I'm going to do it a bunch, practice it a bunch, do some tests, try some crazy things. That leaves us with my Civivi Exarch front flipper. Oops, I'm going to fail that right away, of course. It's a fun Damascus blade, slim, thin. Look at the way that blade sits in there. Profiled, whoops, kind of a gentleman's front flipper. Pocket clip can be swapped on either side, which is a nice little feature, but these are made out of copper, so we're going to take those off, clean them up, and do a shipwreck to them. Are we ready to go? Let's get some last looks, final shots. This is not going to look like this ever again. Both sides, especially right now it looks really dark because it's got that I don't know how they, how they patina that, or, oh my God, come on, give me one more. One more before there we go. How they do that up in that dark, kind of, use your words, Kenman. All right, whatever. Let's take it apart and get rolling. So we are going to do this whole process in this video. I'll have some sped up time-lapse things when need be, but let's just go ahead and take this thing apart. It's got a captive pivot with that C right there. We're going to go ahead and get that. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Wow, look at that big old gouge scratch I just on that surface. Good thing we're doing this thing up, Dan. That's something you got to be careful when you're doing screws, especially right after you finish a project. Is that also? It is. On this side's also a T8. That's cool. The clip is probably a couple of T6s though. Let's see if I can get this going. That's spinning on the other side. Oof. Come on, that bit's not good. All right, there we go. I got to change those bits. That other one I had there was starting to go bad. When they start getting bad, they're going to strip out your screw. So you just want to get rid of those. It's always nice to have a couple extras laying around just in case you're in the middle of a project. Wow, I'm all over the place here today. Oh wow, the captive part. Interesting. So the threaded part had the barrel on it, Or does that actually come off of there too? That's weird. Interesting. All right. Pay attention to what's going on here. So the bearings, I like to pay attention to those. Looks like they had closed side towards the blade. Oop, don't lose that. Dropping that. Okay, there's your blade. Here's your liner. It's got that back spacer. The other liner. And we have our scales. Bing and boom. I am going to take that and this. We are going to clean up our area and then start sanding. And now I'm going to take these Sabatoru stones. I've got a rough one and a fine one. I'm going to start off with the fine one. And we're going to just clean these up. So what I'll do is I'll time lapse this and we can just whip through it real quick and get these clean and get them ready for the next step. So now that I have them all cleaned up, I'm going to kind of get a good close look. Any little spots that might need a little bit more, I'm going to try to get off. But that kind of natural wear will kind of also add to the shipwreck. So I'm going to do a quick cleaning of these, wipe them off, check them out, see what they look like. And then we will move on to the next stage. If you missed the last time we did this, I'm going to go through it all again. So here we are, our items for success. Got my container. I made a bunch of these balls of paper towels to make a surface down on the bottom to hold some of this delicious ammonia. Make sure you are in a well-ventilated area. This stuff is strong. Get a nice healthy portion in there. Woo! And then, like I said, stay in a ventilated space. I'm going to go ahead and throw some salt right down in there to start get it reacting with it. I'm not putting anything in there directly except for these couple pieces right here. But they need something to sit on. I'm going to put a couple more little pieces in there. I felt like I had a little more than that. So I've got some little nice perfect little spot and just a little more of the juice. Oof. Definitely do not take a big whiff of that. It is real deal. Okay. I have a glove because I clean those off and I don't want to touch them. Got a couple of sticks here. Okay, actually before I put the second one in, now I've got that little space. Ugh. We're going to just put a little bit more salt just because I'm moving stuff around. We've got our two clean pieces. I am going to set that one right there. And set this one right like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and liberal salt. Set that on top. And those are ready to go. Now I'm going to put these sticks in as a support. I've seen many where they just put the scales in there too, but I'm doing experiments here, so we're trying some stuff. And I want to continue with this floating kind of bridge that I did on the last one. I'm going to modify a little bit, maybe change, move some stuff around, wipe them off a little bit while we're doing it. That's what the Q-tips will be for later. And so let's go ahead and I'm just going to spill some salt on there. right? I'm going to go less than this time than I did last time, hoping, like I did a lot. Every time there's a little dot, I'm going to get the salt off of where the pivot is. We don't want anything growing around inside of there. But every one of these little dots of salt is a spot where stuff's going to go or going to react and do things. So the more you have, the more uniform blue it's going to be. I have some rock salt. I'm going to drop a couple chunks one at a time here. And when I did this on the very first test, I put on several and it ended up getting really wet. This is a pink rock salt. Nice little variety. Try some interesting stuff out. Maybe I'll put that one way up there. Different salts might make a little bit slightly different color variants. Who knows? All right, so I'm going to get that. God, it's like you just want to add more, but then you also don't. You just kind of want to leave it. So I am going to leave it. Let's see if I can get these at an angle. Lose this glove. We're going to zoom in. Try to see exactly where that salt is. See what I'm looking at there? Not a lot. But I'm going to manipulate it as we go. I'll go and basically set up a timer. And every hour, I'm going to open this up, check them out, take a picture, a little video quick. And then if there's a lot of poolage, I might soak some of that up with a Q-tip or something like that. And maybe add some more salt or things as it goes. So from here, we're just going to basically check on it once an hour. I have this lid. I'll zoom back out here. So I cut a hole in the lid after the first time so that I can actually see. So we can see down in there what's going on. You know, I get excited, want to see what's up, and I can't be patient and just wait. That's why some people will put them directly in the bed, face down, but then you don't get to see anything that's happening. And since I'm still in an early experimental phase on whether I want to use more salt or less salt or different things like that, here we are. So we'll come back to this periodically through a little time lapse and stuff here, and here we go. Let's take a peek here. Ooh, yeah. So I've decided to get a little frisky. I'm going to take these out. And I'm going to pull these sticks out of the way. And check on the pen parts. Looking fun so far. Getting some blues. All right. Oof. Gonna add more paper towel texture. And more of this ammonia. Liberal. Ugh. Woof. All right. Now, gonna rearrange it just a little bit so I've got a bed that they're gonna sit in. I'm gonna drop that one down in there. Drop that one down that hole down there. Now these, we're gonna say goodbye, and for the rest of the night, I'm going to flip it over like that. And like that. You never know. Let's seal it back up. And we'll check on it in the morning. Good morning. Let's see what we got. Okay. Basically, we're just going to take them out and dry them. And then we'll be able to go from there. Alright, so I'm just going to flip them and lay them. Then I can pick them up and we can kind of check them out. Close that lid. Oy, chewy. Woo! There it is. Okay, so we're going to let that dry and then rinse it off and see if we want to go back in or what we want to do. I have now let them dry for several hours, and you know, I mean, I'm still experimenting, so who knows? If I wipe this all off, I just feel like there's a lot of spaces that haven't really had anything happen in between the dots that I want to maybe explore that a little further. This area up in here seems to have some more things going on, but the color variations are limited. I'm trying to get a little bit more interesting things to happen, so I'm going to go ahead and continue this experiment for a little bit longer. I'm going to open up my container here, and what I'm going to do is dump a little more salt. And I know now this salt here, I'm about to actually add more ammonia over the top of it. I'm going to get really liberal in there. It's going to mix it in, but then maybe also kind of do a combination. I've already got plenty of salt on these pieces, so that little extra, we'll see. Like I said, it's all an experiment. So let's take a look here. There's this one. Some white flecks going on over there. Go ahead and set that right there. And this one, set right here. Boom. And the two pen pieces, I'm going to leave. I think they're cool. I'm going to wash those off and we'll go with where they are like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and seal this thing up. Let this sit a few more hours and we will check on it.